Right, boys, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 crucial steps you need to take in order to go from skinny to jacked. And these were the exact same steps that I've taken to go from 54 kilos to 85 kilos in my last 6 years of lifting. And this is everything that I did. Okay, so listen up. So the first thing is getting your mind right. Now, I know you hear this all the time about this mindset shit. And the reason why it's so often spoken about is because of how important it is. If you don't have the right mindset, if you have limiting beliefs, thinking like, oh, I have a fast metabolism, my genetics are bad, you're obviously not going to be able to gain weight. These were all the things that held me back for so long because I didn't even believe I could do it in the first place. I thought, I was special. All these other guys that are seeing results are just lucky. They don't have the circumstances I was dealt with. It's all fake. It's all made up in your mind. Your brain is looking for the easiest thing to stop you from doing something hard because this is hard. It is hard to go from skinny to jacked, right? Like, it will be a challenge, but don't let that fucking voice in your mind stop you from actually going and doing it. And just think, if someone else has done it, you can as well, because where no one is really that special. Everyone has done very similar things in their lives. We're all human. It is possible. So instead of viewing these guys that have been able to go through the transformation that you want, just think that, oh, well, if he's done it and, hundreds and thousands of other people have done it, I can do it as well. You need to believe you're the fucking man. You can do anything because it's true. What you believe is true. I've written it down. Your thoughts create your actions. If you don't believe you're the man, if you just believe, oh, I'm just going through life and this is hard and this is difficult and I won't be able to do it, of course you won't be able to do it. You need to believe you are the fucking man. And it's hard and it's weird because I never had confidence. If I go back to this photo here, do you think this guy here believed he was the fucking man looking like that? No, but it starts believing you're the man and then you start to look good and then you just believe you are the man anyway, if that makes sense. Second thing, get into a calorie surplus. A calorie surplus is just when you're eating more calories than you burn. So everyone's got a set amount of energy, which is also known as calories, which is keeping you at your current weight, or maybe you're losing weight, you're slightly gaining weight day to day, whatever the case may be, but you're not consistently gaining weight. And it's because you're roughly eating a very similar amount of food each day, each week, okay? Just because you eat a bunch of food one day and then you stop eating for 3 days because you're still full, that doesn't mean that you are, in fact, eating more. And the only reason you aren't gaining weight is because you're not eating as much as what you think you are. I know that will probably break some hearts and hurt some feelings, but I want you to get the result, so I'm not here to sugarcoat it. So the thing that you need to be doing in order to get into a calorie surplus is finding out your maintenance calories, right? You can go to different websites online, like a TDE calculator, that will tell you roughly how many calories you need to be eating. And then from there, you just add 200 to 300 on top of that number. That's putting you in a calorie surplus, putting you above how much calories you're eating in a day to day. And you should slowly start gaining weight. And if you don't, then you can just add another 100 to 200 on top, and then you will start gaining weight eventually. Okay, so from there, you need to be eating this consistently, right? You need to be eating this set amount of calories every single day, right? So for example, if my maintenance calories are, I'm pretty sure mine are like 2,900. The more muscle you have, the higher your maintenance calories you need, because you have more muscle, your body uses more energy because the amount of muscle which you have on you. So mine's like 2,900. So for me to be in a calorie surplus, it'll be around 3,100 to 3,300. Don't go fucking crazy and add 500 to this number, because that's when you're going to gain a lot of fat, right? Like, eating more calories doesn't mean you're going to build more muscle. You're just going to get fat. So keep this small at around 200 to 300. And then you need to start eating this consistently and start tracking your calories as well. Like, if you truly want the result, you need to track your calories. You can't just guess or, oh, I think I'm eating that much, because you're automatically just going to assume you are eating enough. And then this is where the thoughts of my metabolism is fast, I can't gain weight, I'm a special snowflake comes in. Okay, so start using a calorie tracking app to do this. All right, next thing. Next thing is protein intake. So protein is the building block for muscle. If you're not eating enough protein, you're not going to be able to build any muscle. And if you're eating in a calorie surplus without eating enough protein, you're just going to gain fat and you won't really build that much muscle. And eating 4 eggs and a protein shake is not hitting your protein intake. That's nowhere near enough is what you need. Like, at a minimum, you need to be eating 30 to 40, even 50 grams of protein each and every single meal, depending on how many meals that you are eating, okay? And this is another thing. This is another thing that you need to be tracking, because like, you can't just guess this stuff. You need to know measurements. Yeah, it's probably going to be hard for you in the beginning, but who cares? Like, if you truly want your dream physique, you want to start gaining weight and building muscle, these are the things that you have to do. So if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You can just stay with how you are at the moment. You're probably skinny, you're probably not happy with how you look, you probably don't fit in clothes that well, you probably get picked on, people make fun of you. How do I know this? Because I fucking lived it. I know exactly how it feels. So the way that you track your protein intake, or how much you should be eating, is 2 grams of protein per kilo that you weigh. So if you weigh 60 kilos, eat 120 grams of protein, 70 kilos, 140 grams of protein, so on and so forth. And some really good ways of getting in your protein, and some of the foods that I eat on a day-to-day basis are steak, eggs, chicken, ground beef, Greek yogurt, and occasionally protein powder. I use like a scoop or 2 of protein powder a day, but do not rely on protein powder. Make sure that you're getting this predominantly through whole foods like listed below. The next thing is progressive overload. Now, this is key. This is absolutely key. Like, I knew progressive overload was important, but I'm only now putting a lot more fucking emphasis on it because I want to blow my physique up again. And I've been training for 6 years, right? And I'm still itching to get bigger and stronger as a natural, of course. Like, if I ever take anything in the future, of course, I will let you guys know. This is key. Now, the reason that it is key is because, especially as a natural, like, you need to be giving your body a reason to grow. You need to be giving your body a stimuli to grow. And if you just stay at the same weight and you do the same lifts every single week, then why the fuck would your body grow? It doesn't matter how much you're eating. Like, all this stuff should be linking up in your head. You're eating more so you can train heavier and train harder so that you can build more muscle. And it's just a huge fucking loop, and that's it. And so that you can recover as well. So you need to be training harder each and every single session, and this is what will make your body grow as a natural. You need to be increasing the stimulus. So this is why it is so key, once again, to track your sessions. You need to be knowing how much weight you lifted last week. And even if you just increase your weight by a rep, that is still huge, especially if you've been training for a long time. If you haven't been training for a long time and you're in your first 1 to 2 years, you realistically should be progressing each and every single session. There should be day and night difference between what you did 2 weeks ago versus what you did today in terms of weight and reps. So track your sessions, right? Like, my clients, they're able to see what they did last week because they have an app that they use, so they're able to use it. But if you don't have access to that, you can just use iPhone notes or something. Like, write down the exercise, bench press. Okay, this week I did 3 sets of 8 reps of 60 kilos. And then from there, you either want to increase the weight of the reps. So next week you could increase the weight by 5 kilos, 2 kilos, and you do 8 reps again. Or you can do 3 sets of 10 reps of 60 kilos. So you're either trying to increase the weight or the reps. Now, this is subjective, and it really depends on where you're at with your journey. If it was me, I really like trying to increase the weight, but keep the reps the same. But I'm sure that there's certain exercises bicep curls and tricep extensions where it does become quite difficult to progress each and every single week. So in those circumstances, you can just focus on increasing the reps. Now, as long as you increase one or the other, okay, that's super important. You're not just doing the same shit every single week. And, well, speaking of that, actually, you want to make sure that you're doing the same exercises each and every single week. That's the only thing that should be staying the same, because it's very hard to determine how strong you are getting if you're constantly switching up your workout program and your exercises. You don't know, your body adapts to the exercises which you are doing. Okay, like the movement patterns, where to put your arms, how to become comfortable, like in a certain like position. If you're laying down doing dumbbell bench press, incline or something, like your body will adapt to that. And you want to use scientific method here, where you're eliminating a lot of the other external factors that could stop you from progressing. So for example, if you're constantly changing exercises, like you're not sure, like you don't know if you're getting stronger or not because you're constantly switching. So this is why it's good to do the same exercises, the same workout split for like 12 to 16 weeks so that you can truly see growth happen during that time. So I hope that made sense. The next thing, the 3-month rule. Okay, I'll put my face here and I'll move it. The 3-month rule is huge, and I dedicate this rule so much to actually seeing the result. Because look, I speak to so many guys on a day-to-day basis, and I ask them, like, what's stopping you from being where you're at now? Like, why have you been struggling with this for so long? And it's always like, oh, I just haven't been consistent. I haven't like really gave this a go. And look, I was there. I used to overanalyze everything. I used to think, oh, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? This person's saying this, that person's saying that. I'm so fucking confused. What do I need to be doing? Okay. And look, I was exactly in your situation, but like, I want you to imagine you're on a road. If you're on a road and you're wondering, should I look left? Should I look right? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you can simply just make the decision instead of just sitting at, the crossroad for like 3 months, 6 months, and you haven't came to a decision. Just make a fucking decision, right? Because like, it's really not going to matter. Like, if you do a push-pull leg split or an upper-lower split, it doesn't matter. If you do an incline dumbbell press over an incline Smith press, it doesn't matter. Like, you need to think about the principles here. Like, look what I'm talking about. Progressive overload, eating in a calorie surplus, eating enough protein. Have I once mentioned the exact fucking exercise you need to be doing, or you need to be eating this exact meal with this many calories at this exact time? No, I'm not, because this is where the flexibility comes in. Like, people think this is like black and white. And look, I'm a very black and white person as well. And I like, this is why I struggle with it. Like, you need to understand there's so much nuance to some of this stuff. So instead of like over analyzing, like trying to be super optimal all the time, this is another reason why I don't really like the science-based lifting community, because it's retarded. Like, you're trying to optimize so much shit when you should just focus on the basic stuff and just have fucking fun with lifting, to be honest. So go all in, like, stop overthinking shit. Like, don't think like, oh, should I be? Just do it. Just take action. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable because this is something you haven't done before. Like, I just threw something up on my story. Like, like, you're never going to feel 100% ready. When you started your new job, you didn't feel ready. When you started school, you didn't feel ready. When you got into a relationship, you didn't feel ready. You're never ready. You're truly never ever ready. And the only reason, you start to feel ready is because action precedes clarity. The more action you take, the more comfortable you get, and like, just the easier things get for you. So make sure that you're setting daily non-negotiables and execute, and don't make any excuses. You know when you should be training, how much food you should be eating, like, and just do it. Like, you have to think about it. Is it better if I train knowing that this isn't optimal, or not train at all and just do some more research? It's going to be better if you start fucking lifting, like, obviously. Okay, so I really hope this made sense. And look, I know I've probably sounded like a dick in this video occasionally, and I'm not trying to. I just really want to see you get the result, okay? Because look at this guy here, right? This guy had no idea what he was doing. He didn't feel confident in his body. He felt like shit all the time. He like bad mental health, got picked on, real bad anxiety. And I don't want that to be you. Okay, so this is the only reason I'm being harsh, because I want you to see the result. But other than that, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, talking to you. Hope you have an amazing day. If you're really struggling with this and you do want my help, and you want to learn about the system that I use to gain over 30 kilos naturally, there's a video you can watch in the description. If not, it's totally fine. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.